In 1932, the Australian government looked at a group of birds wandering around a wheat field and said, "We need to go to war." They sent real soldiers, with real machine guns, with real ammunition, against emus. And somehow, embarrassingly, humiliatingly, historically, they lost. This is the Great Emu War, and it is the greatest military failure in human history. To understand how Australia ended up in a war with birds, we need to go back to after World War I. Thousands of Australian soldiers came home from the most brutal war in history. Trenches, gas attacks, watching their friends die in the mud of Europe. The government promised them land, farms, and a fresh start, so they sent these veterans to Western Australia to a place called Campion. What they didn't mention was that the land was basically in the middle of nowhere. The soil was difficult, and the weather was unpredictable. And then, the Great Depression hit. The price of wheat crashed so badly that farmers were barely surviving. These men were losing a war against poverty, the land, and the government that had abandoned them. And then, the emus arrived. Every year, around 20,000 emus migrated through Western Australia. And in 1932, they decided, those wheat fields look great. Let's eat everything. Now an emu is not a small bird. We're talking about a 6-foot-tall, 130-pound creature that can run at 30 miles per hour. They have giant, powerful legs that can kick through a fence and a brain the size of a walnut. They are terrifying and absolutely ridiculous. The farmers were desperate. Their crops were being destroyed. So they went to the government and said, "We need guns." And the government said, "We'll raise you one better. We'll send the military. Enter Major G.P.W. Meredith." He was standing in a wheat field with 2 Lewis guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, looking at emus. The plan was simple. Herd the emus into a group. Open fire. Done in a day. Easy. Day 1. They herded about 50 emus into range. They opened fire, and the emus just scattered in every direction. The guns jammed. The emus were gone. Total kill count, a handful. Day 2. They tried again near a dam. Hundreds of emus in one place. Perfect. They opened fire. The emus panicked and scattered, but this time they ran in every direction simultaneously, making it nearly impossible to aim. The guns jammed again. Major Meredith, a decorated war veteran, was being outmaneuvered by birds with walnut-sized brains. The military pulled out after a week. Official reason: weather conditions. Real reason: this was embarrassing. An ornithologist observed that the emus had demonstrated remarkable battlefield tactics, comparing their movement patterns to those of a guerrilla army. Round 2. A month later, the military came back. Same result. The emus scattered, regrouped, and kept eating the wheat. To this day, Australia has never officially won a war against the emus. They have never signed a peace treaty. But under the comedy, there's a genuinely sad story. Those farmers were World War I veterans who had been promised a better life. They had survived one of history's deadliest wars only to come home to no support and 20,000 birds eating everything they had left. The emus won, but the farmers lost long before the first shot was fired. History isn't just dates and names. It's the most insane, tragic, ridiculous story ever told. Subscribe because we're just getting started.